What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you tonight with more Danmachi. And today we're going to be talking about Weapon Ascension one more time. Now, the reason we're going to do that is because there were some problems with the previous video that we made. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm certainly not 800 attempts deep in this. We're going to do, you'll see why here in a minute. We're going to go ahead and cover this one more time because the last one we did wasn't exactly, like after I went back and watched it, there were some major problems with it, and the weapon wasn't fully ascended, and now we've got enough items to fully ascend a weapon, and we can really test this out. So I've got Katori here. She's the one we tested last time. Her Kamale is fully bonded, fully ascended, fully everything. I would say fully bonded, but fully ascended, leveled up, everything's good to go. You'll see that's physical attack of 400, level is 90. If you want to know what Ascension does, like beyond obviously leveling up, with 2 Ascensions in there, you get guard rate minus 10% on your foe. With 4, you get penetration rate plus 3%, and when your final one, you get critical damage plus 3%. So it's kind of nice. The effect that I have on this particular weapon is the native 15% critical rate, maths and pictures on the screen. The native critical rate of 50% that comes with your unit. Now, on top of that, I also have a strength 10, a second critical 15, and a dex 30. And while this is not the best stat for this weapon, I kind of hit a state where I spent so many hammers trying to upgrade this weapon that it just became no longer worthwhile. Like, I could go after crazy stats, but it's going to cost me so many hammers, it just wasn't worthwhile at some point. I got kind of some really good stats here, and I left it. Now, the physical attack is maxed out, so we don't need to worry about that. It's, I won't say easy, but it's once again a kind of crapshoot to fully max out the damage potential of a weapon, but once it rainbows and you're doing the status, not the attributes, but the status, it's pretty easy. Once it rainbows, you're maxed and you don't want to go any further. It won't let you go any further. With attributes, it's really weird, though. So what I did is I actually farmed up a second one right here. Now, this is level 60. It's not ascended. It's got nothing in it. It is 100% in that it has maximum physical attack. So it's at 350. You always know max stats because the durability 950 is, I believe it's 950 for almost all the weapons out there that are maxed out. But, yeah, it is. So if you see durability 950, and obviously mine's been through a few fights, so it's a little lower, that is a sign that your weapon is at 100%. So 350, and the difference is up here at durability 950. This is 410. That's a physical attack difference of 60. That's going to come into play here in a second, because I'm going to have a question for y'all. See if y'all can make heads or tails out of it. But first, the effects of this one are, of course, the native critical 15 that you get with this. I have a dex 30 again, and I have a strength 30, but I don't have the second critical 15. Once again, I could have farted around with it, but I'm not going to use this weapon that often. I really only made it, very expensively, just for the purposes of this video. So let's go ahead and walk through this and see what we can do here. Now, the question I'm going to have for y'all, if I go and equip this, it'll say physical attack goes down by 35. Not 60, not 40, which if you add all the strengths up, that would be, if you add the strength into the physical attack, that would have been the difference. It's 35, and I'm not 100% certain why that's the case. So if you guys know why that is, definitely put it in the comments section down below. I would love to get some insight on that. But let's go ahead, go over here and fight Aisha. So you'll notice that I'm a little further into the match than we would normally do a damage test on. And the reason being is because it takes a while to get all the debuffs in place that we need for this. Literally for these units to survive. And a rebuff, because after Aisha does an SA, wink wink hint hint, if you're trying to beat this thing, she will remove strength buffs. So be careful of that. So we have physical down 50% and fire down 25%. We also have, if you go down here, 1 unit resistance down 20%. So we should be producing an okay amount of damage. Plus, let's just go ahead and double check in here. Strength is still on and fire damage is still on. So strength is 60, fire damage is 60. So we're just going to do a basic attack here. Flame. We're going to do Kamale and basically her highest end attack that's not an SA and see what kind of numbers we get out of this. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. So it was like a 328, I think that was. I was paying more attention to people surviving. And we retaliated for 80k. It was very nice. So 328, I think, is where that was. I'd have to double check it, but we're going to go ahead and do one more turn. Then we're going to do a double SA with Haruhime. The reason I'm going to do a double SA is because, once again, Aisha can remove your strength buffs, and it can get super, super, super annoying. Let's go ahead and do this here and see what we get. Now, obviously, Haruhime is going to give us basically 100% strength buff, and then Aisha is going to do, or I say Aisha, Katori is going to do her own buffs on top of it. And yes, Katori, even though she's a crossover unit, is one of the most badass units in the game. All right, Katori, what you got, girl? At least as far as single attack damage goes. Get her! 1.19 mil. 1.19 mil. So 328, I believe, and 1.19 mil. And that's going to give us our baseline for doing the next round of testing. Now, that is her primary weapon. Let's see what happens when she gets a little something better. So let's go ahead and jump over and do that real quick. So once again, we are back in here. We're going to go ahead and equip the upgraded unit. It's going to give us the extra 35, which I still don't fully understand, but let's go ahead and go in here and jump to turn 5 and see what that gives us. The reason we're going to do that is, once again, because basically we spend so much of this first part buffing and debuffing and setting everything up. We're not going to get reliable numbers out of this. So we really need those extra turns to make sure that everything is straightened out, everything's where we need it, and we're not, there's no question marks, basically. So here we are back on turn 5. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to just do the same thing we did before. All of our debuffs are in play. Even the 1 unit resist is still there. I did have to rebuff once again to get the 60% strength. So we've got that. Fire attribute damage is still 60%. So everything should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and do Kamale with her. Let's see what we get. Okay? 350. That's 25k more. Huh. I don't know why. Maybe I expected too much, but I expected a little more out of that. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. So we got 1.19 on the last double SA. Let's see what we get on this double SA. Let's take a look here. So Weapon Ascension thus far doesn't seem to be the game changer that we thought it might be. Nothing like Hero Ascension, not even by a small margin, if this is actually true. Okay. What you got for us, girl? That was actually a really good hit. I'll give her that. That hit for 100,000 more. So, but I think that's still on par with the percentage. So, though we are going to defeat her much, much, much faster now. If we'd had everyone buffed, we would have had her on that turn, which is kind of impressive if I'm entirely honest. But, yeah, that's very strange. But impressive. Quite impressive if I do say so myself. So, yeah, that's... So, we added 100k to the Her SA. That is substantial. It's not the end of the world, but it's enough. And we added 25k to her main hit, which is actually about 10%, give or take. So, that's not too bad. It adds about 10% damage. I don't know if I maybe I just over-expected, but... I did kind of think it'd be a little bit more crazy than that, but there you go. And we beat Aisha, so proof is right there. I'll come back with the video talking about how to beat Aisha with a little more efficiency than this and what you need to S-clear her. But for now, that is going to be the video. Let me know what y'all thought in the comments section down below. Were you impressed by Weapon Ascension, or did you expect a little more like I did? I don't know. Hero Ascension seems like such a big deal, but Weapon Ascension's kind of been, especially for how much you put into it. Because remember, each level is either 500,000 Valis to 1,000,000 Valis, and those really, really, really tough to obtain items. So I don't know. I just expected for your effort a little more. That's me. Let me know what y'all thought in the comments for real, and share, and I'll be back at you guys with more Danmachi soon.